Hey guys, Mr. Yisley here. So we're on to lesson number 4 in chapter 2b, all about solving linear inequalities. And lesson number 4 is talking all about how to write an inequality from a graph. So when you look at a graph, can you actually write that simplified inequality? So with this, you may notice on your notes that your examples here are completely blank. So make sure you watch this video because I'm going to give you very specific numbers that I want you to work with on here. And we're going to have to label our number lines, so I'll show you how to do that. And then we are going to draw in the graph. Then we'll come back and figure out what that inequality actually looks like. But let's talk about the process first before we do that. So really about 4 steps to this, all right? First thing we want to do is we want to find the circle. So find that circle like we were creating when we were graphing ourselves. Find the circle, right? And determine the initial number. So what is that circle over? What is the number that it's over? Right? Step 2, right? Decide the inequality symbol. So first thing we want to do is look at the circle and say, is it filled in? Well, if it is, we know it has a portion of an equals to sign. If it's not, then it doesn't. All right, so the inequality symbol is based on the circle. And then the next part of the inequality symbol is the actual direction of the arrow. All right, so what is the direction of the arrow? And that's going to help us figure out which way our inequality symbol should face. All right, step 3, assign a variable because they're not going to give you a variable this time. So I would encourage you, keep it simple, just use x, but you can really use any variable except for the letter I. Right? And then last thing is go ahead and write your inequality. So write the inequality itself. All right, so let's take a look at some examples. Example A, all right, we're going to work with these numbers. So I want you to go into your graph and somewhere on one of the middle lines, I want you to put the number 48. And then I want you to count by 1. So next number 49, 50, and then 51. We're just going to put 3 numbers to the right, which means we're going to put 3 numbers to the left of 47. Or 48, excuse me. Next one is 47, 46, and then 45. So did my best to keep those lined up. What you could do is you could skip every other line and then do it. You just want to make sure that it's labeled and easy to follow. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to draw a circle over the 48, and I want you to fill that circle in. And then last part, I want you to draw an arrow moving towards the right off of it. All right. So that is the picture of what they've given us. So now our job is to write the inequality of what that graph actually means. So first thing I want to do is I want to find the circle and determine the initial number. Well, the circle is at 48, so I'm going to write that number, 48. Second thing I want to do is I want to decide the inequality symbol based on the circle and the direction of the arrow. Well, remember the circle determines if it has a portion of an equals to sign or not. If it has a portion of an equals to sign, it'll be filled in. If it doesn't, it'll be an open circle. Well, I see that this is a filled in, so I know that it has a portion of an equals to sign. Right? And then the last part is which direction is it moving? Well, if you write your number first, right, the inequality symbol is always going to open the direction of the arrow, right? But that only holds true if the number is written first. If I write the variable first, then it's going to go in the opposite direction. So I want to make sure that I pay attention to that. Right? So because the arrow was going to the right, I know that my inequality symbol is going to open to the right. Right? Because that means that 48 is less than everything moving towards the right, which is what this says, 48 and everything greater than that number. Right? And then the last thing, or step 3, we want to assign that variable. So write the x. So 48 is less than or equal to x. Is that true? Well, again, we can always plug a number in real quick. So I'm going to choose that number 49. I'm going to plug it in and see if it comes true. 48 is less than or equal to 49. Well, is that true? Well, 48 is not equal to 49, but it is less than 49. So that was true. So that is correct. All right, well, example B, I want you to write these numbers out this time. So first number I want you to write is 51 somewhere in the middle. All right, so the number 51. Then skipping every other hash, because I'm just going to show you a different way of doing that, I want you to count by 2s. So instead of this would be 52, that makes this 53. Then I want to count 54, 55, 56, 57. So it looks a little less crowded, a little easier to follow, right? And do the same on this side. So counting by twos going downwards. So 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. So there are the numbers. Now what I want you to do is at the number 51, I want you to draw a circle, but do not fill it in. And then take an arrow moving towards the left. All right, so this is the problem they have given us. So now we need to go in and we need to write our inequality. So first thing, let's find the circle. Well, the circle is at 51, so there's our initial number. So I'm going to write that number first, 51. Then I need to determine the inequality symbol by looking at the circle first. Well, it is an unfilled circle, so that means there is no portion of an equals to sign. Then I want to look at the direction of the arrow. Well, again, if my number is to the left, I know that the inequality symbol is going to open the same way. So that's going to be opening towards the 51. But that only is true if the number comes first. If this was the letter first, then it would actually be the opposite. The inequality symbol would open the opposite way. All right, and the last thing I want to do is put in my variable, which is x. So I got 51 is greater than x. Well, I can always check that real quick. So let's choose a number here to the left of 51 and see if it makes it true. So I choose the number 49. So 51 is less than, plug in 49 for x. Or excuse me, 51 is greater than, and plug 49 in for x. So 51 is greater than 49. Is that true? That is true. All right, so my inequality was correct. All right, well, example C, last one here. I want you to go ahead and get these numbers from me, then try this one on your own, and then check your answer with mine. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to write the number 0 somewhere in the middle. Then counting by twos, skipping every other dash, I want you to label all the way to the number 6 on the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then same thing on the left, going to the number -6. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Then at the number -6, I want you to draw a circle, and I want you to fill it in. And then I want you to put an arrow moving towards the right. Well, at this point, I want you to now try to write your inequality from this graph that they've given us, and then check your answer with mine. So first thing I need to do, find the circle, determine the initial number. So I see the circle is at -6. So there's my number. Now I need to decide the inequality symbol. First I look at the circle, see if it's filled in. It is, so that means there's a portion of an equals to sign. Second part, I need my arrow or my inequality symbol to open the same way as my arrow because the number was on the left side. And then last part, I need to assign a variable. So I'm going to say x. So what I ended up with was -6 is less than or equal to x. Well, I want to see if that comes true, so let me plug a number in to the right here of -6. I choose -4, and I'm going to plug it in for x. -6 is less than or equal to -4. Well, a -6 equal to -4? No, it's not, but it is less than -4, so this is true. So my inequality is correct. All right, well, hopefully you got that correct. If you have any additional questions, please let me know. But otherwise, you should have what you need to move on in the chapter.